Um, besides the music and besides just being a dope producer,
Thank you.
is there any other business ventures that you would like to branch out into?
Oh yeah, of course. I can't even say too much
Uh
because
oh.
sometimes they like to stop the magic before it hits full effect.
Oh my.
But I've always been involved in everything. Like I said, maybe that's part of the ADD part too. I don't know. I got to be involved in stuff. But I'm a huge writer too. Outside of lyrics, I write books. I have a book out called The Cost of Identity, which speaks about
You
incarceration.
have it out?
This is I have a few books, but that's one that I'm very very passionate about. That's with a few school curriculums already for their queer studies departments. But I have a book called The Cost of Identity. That's about mass incarceration, but specifically the mass incarceration of black trans folk, which is the most heavily incarcerated and highly incarcerated population, which I think a lot of people forget. But you can't be pro-black and not pro-all black people.
Indeed,
At
indeed.
that point, Hotep in my book, you pro some black. You can't trust you the same way. But yeah, there were really no numbers and figures explaining that demographic and that population and how it's manifesting to the rest of the community. So that was important to me to provide. It was inspired by Michelle Alexander's The New Jim Crow.
So when you said
Mm-hmm.
transgender
Yes.
people,
Mm-hmm.
right? So why hone in primarily on transgender population?
That is the population that needs it most. That's the most highly incarcerated population. It's one thing to say black people are most incarcerated, but when you really look into that, there are subgroups that are even more vulnerable and susceptible to those things. One of which being the trans community.
Okay.
For reasons none other than solely how they identify and how
Indeed.
that transpires in different interactions and how that's criminalized in so many different ways. But yeah, I as somebody who says I'm pro-black and pro-all-black,
Mhm.
I don't think that you can at all be pro-all-black and not be fighting for the causes of all
Indeed.
black.
Indeed.
So
Indeed. Indeed.
that's really important to me too. And also just my understanding of our culture and where we come from, we've never been a transphobic or homophobic people at any point in time. That's new for us. That's very much so Western civilization, Eurocentric ideology, and Americanized political thought. That comes from buck breaking and slave masters
Mhm.
wanting to have same sex enslaved folks have sex with him or each other, and then you have mothers who are now scared for their sons to be exhibiting certain behavior because they're scared the master will come get them. So
Mhm.
now that's frowned upon when it's not even the practice itself of homosexuality that's frowned upon, but it's a means of protection and survival and not wanting your child to be an easy picking.
You are so powerful. You
Thank
be
you.
scaring people, huh?
I
I love her.
appreciate it. I
And I love her.
appreciate
She is so dope with it.
Thank you.
She is so dope with it.
Thank you. But yeah, that's true. Our languages
No, no,
have
no,
always
totally.
had we've always had words for other than he, she. That's English.
Mhm.
That's very English, Spanish, French, those languages, Eurocentrism. We've always identified and understood two-spirited people to be otherworldly and
Mhm.
godly in many ways. So, yeah, so that was important to me to shed that light culturally back on that subset group of people, rather than allowing all to carry on that's carrying on now.
How is this book? So I can purchase this book online.
Mm-hmm.
How long has
There.
this book been
So
out?
when I write books, I'm Raina Simone X. I get a little more militant, but yeah,
You write in what?
I was saying I get a little more militant.
Oh, no.
with the
Yeah,
books.
yeah, 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 yeah,
So
that
my
part.
name with the books is Raina Simone X.
Okay.
But yeah, I got a whole lot more that I'm writing on too. Right now, I'm writing on the ways in which black discipline derives from the ways in which slave masters disciplined enslaved folks, and that's actually become a really interesting study too. So, looking forward to. Oh my gosh! And then I just wrote on how ownership changing in hip hop affected the entirety of like Ford mobility and compared it to Reaganomics and like the crap being put. It's gonna get interesting, but yeah. So that's my next goal, my next focus. There are a lot of things that I want to do. A lot of investments that I want to make as well, a lot of areas that I'm looking to involve myself in. But I didn't want to be that irritable, mad old lady who is just mad at the world because I never put my all into music and I watched everybody else do it and surpass me. So that's the goal right now. I got to put my all into what I'm most passionate about. But there's so many things that I'm still looking to do that are in the works.
I love it.